the refusal of the call happens inside of us. So this is all this sort of internal journey of the hero. You end up going through trials and tribulations and roadblocks and all of these kinds of things, and eventually, you know, if you accept the call and you meet your mentor who helps you through it, you return with the elixir. You come back to that ordinary world different and changed. And so that's our journey.
Man, you guys are like trained animals. The Chilliwack Creative Commission is gratefully located on the traditional unceded territory of the Stalo people. Live from Studio C, this is the Chilliwack Creative Commission's Creative Third Thursdays. Woo-hoo! I'm Geoff Edwards. I'm the host. I'm actually the chair of the Chilliwack Creative Commission's Creative Third Thursdays Committee. And we're working to attract creative people and entrepreneurs to meet at these monthly get-togethers. And we're building a catalog of YouTube videos of featured creatives. And you're about to meet a new one today. It's all recorded here at the fabulous Studio C at Cowork Chilliwack. Let's thank the brain behind Creative Third Thursdays shows or YouTube videos. Tim McAlpine, he's waving, look. And we've got the 9th annual Chilliwack Independent Film Festival coming up in next weekend, isn't it? It's actually a 5 days long event, October 22nd to the 26th. So stay with us to see this year's festival trailer later in the show. But right now, let's meet this month's featured creative.
This time, we're pleased to feature an expert of storytelling. He's a story editor and producer whose work has been seen on Netflix, Amazon, Lifetime, Hallmark, and CBC Docs, where he produced a North American theatrically released documentary. With his valuable experience from the story departments of LA companies like Phoenix Pictures and Mel Gibson's Icon Productions, he offers a wealth of insight to our creative community. Please give a warm welcome to this month's featured creative, Dave Rempel.
Keep shaking hands until the lights come on.
Right, okay.
Welcome, Dave.
Thank you. Am I doing product placement?
My phone out of my pocket. That's quite the bio that you've got there, and I want to talk about lots of it. I also am looking forward to talking about the storytelling philosophy known as the hero's journey. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a template for stories, and because there's so much relevance for what solo creative entrepreneurs do every day, I think, and it's going to be an interesting talk. But I can't forget the fact
that was my sitcom moment. Yeah.
We met at Starbucks in Vedder Crossing. I was visiting with my friend Bob Fugger, who's a film director and former featured creative on Creative Third Thursdays. And what struck me was that here you were, sitting in Starbucks with a laptop computer, editing a movie in Vedder Crossing. So I knew at that point, I got to get to know this guy better to see what he's doing. So you also got an early start. Tell me about life for you as a kid in Chilliwack.
As a kid, well, I loved the television show Chips. And I knew at an early age that I wanted to live in Los Angeles. And I'd never been, actually I had been there. My parents took me to Disneyland. But that show, I was so addicted to it. I just thought, well, what a life there. I want to live there. I want to drive those highways. I want to commute on those highways 3 hours a day. And so I grew out of that pretty fast when I moved there. But yeah, I just felt like that's where I wanted to be. Did I know I wanted to work in the movie industry? No, and I think that kind of fell in my lap later on. It wasn't really a plan.
So being in LA was you were attracted to LA because of Chips, basically.
Yeah. I remember taking a class as a freshman, people, and especially international students, we had to take this class called University Life. And it was basically almost like therapy, a therapy session for us to kind of get to grips with where we are, the culture shock of it all, why we're there. And people would ask why we're there and what got us there, why we came. And I said, well, Chips. There's a TV show. I love Chips. And I just thought this was such a cool place, so I decided I wanted to move here.
What stories can you tell us about that time before you actually ended up as an intern?
Oh, wow. Well, I failed at my attempt to live there my first time.
Yeah.
I was 18, 17. No, I was 17 going on 18. And I was not ready to be in the big city alone without Mom. And so I lasted a semester, and I had to come back and regroup and do it again. So
that's when you went back. You didn't give up on yourself.
I didn't give up.
Persevered.
No, I had to discover myself first. I had to figure out who I was and what I wanted to do and why I wanted to do it. And I really don't think that I even figured it out until later. But I think I said that working in the movie industry was not necessarily, I mean, that was like going to the moon. It was such a foreign idea to me. It wasn't really something on my radar. And, but, you know, we're fast forwarding to university, then I had a great group of teachers who were all industry pros, either were still or used to be. And they kind of steered me in that direction and brought out that sort of that childhood love for storytelling that I've had long since forgotten about. And so they reignited that passion in me and said, oh yeah, you know what? I remember that. I remember loving to write stories. And as I was, you know, it was put forward for me to write stories and to do that, they were going, well, you should keep doing this. So
sounds like teachers are really important in people's developmental careers and stuff. We've got a teacher in the front row here.
Yeah.
Floor is on. Hey, so tell me, give me a fun anecdote from that time. You ended up taking an internship. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was watching people take these internships, and you know, I had come from Canada, so I was in LA, and this was my dream. I was here. I wasn't going to waste my time doing an internship, getting away with doing the least amount of work possible. Like I noticed that a lot of people were doing. I'm like, no, I'm here. I'm going to go for it. And so I applied for some internships, and one of them that I was shortlisted on was a really lucrative one at DreamWorks, and I was shortlisted down to the top four candidates for this internship, and I sort of in a timely way, I bumped into this guy who was connected to the studio task force at the university. And he said, hey, it sounds great, but you're just going to be a number at this place. Go to a smaller production company that are doing big movies, but you won't be a number, you'll be a name. And so I did that. And and that was the best bit of advice that I think I got, super timely too. So I did that and was able to start my internship was at this company here, Phoenix Pictures, which is run by a guy named Mike Medavoy, who maybe people don't know that name, but he was big on saving movies like Apocalypse Now, Annie Hall, Platoon, big movies like that. And so
saving them, what do you mean?
He would go in. He would often go in. Apocalypse Now had some issues as far as the production goes, and he went in and talked the director down and helped him make the movie. So I mean, this guy's he's a big name, and he has this book he gave me at the end of my internship called "You're Only as Good as Your Next One," and he was just a great cheerleader for me. Being in his corner was awesome.
So I promoted the fact we're going to talk about the hero's journey, and I want to leave time for that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens between your time in LA and now, and so I wanted to do a little lightning round or something they call it. You've seen those things?
Yeah. Colbert. Kimmel?
Not the Colbert. What does he call? Yeah, that's. But if I say the name of a network, can you say a bit about what you did?
Sure.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Netflix
purchased a documentary that I made that I had no idea was going to be as controversial as it was, and actually no idea it was going to be as big as it was. It ended up being in theaters across North America, in Cineplex in Canada, and AMC theaters and other theaters in the US. And it was about hell. Does hell exist? And if it does, who goes there? Super controversial. No idea it was going to go there, but New York Times loved it. So the trades loved it. CNN did an interview with us, and you know, it was interesting. That was an interesting time, unlike no other.
So moving on, prime time
video. A lot of storm-related movies that went there. Tornado Valley is there. Toxic Skies went there. Anne Hesh starred in that, and that was a really interesting one because the company that I worked for in Santa Monica was like, we want to cast this movie. Who do you think? What do you think? And I was like, Anne Hesh, and that's James Tupper. That was her husband at the time. They were working on a little show called Men in Trees in Vancouver, and the show got canceled, and they loved living in Vancouver. And didn't want to leave. And I didn't know Anne, I didn't know James, but I read it in the trades that they didn't want to leave. So I went to my boss in Santa Monica and I was like, I have this thing, this inkling that I want to try to get Anne Hesh. And he's like, we can't afford her. So, I mean, these are made for TV movies. I won't tell you what the budgets are. That's secret. But I was like, I think we can. I think we have some leverage because they don't want to leave. So I ended up managing to get her, and she and I became really close and good friends, and she passed away since. But yeah, that was a great show. That was fun to work on.
All right, moving on.
Okay. Sorry, not Lightning. This is
Lifetime.
Lifetime Held Hostage, starring Julie Benz. Based on a true story of a friend of mine who became a friend of mine named Michelle Renee. Julie Benz is a sweetheart. She's stars in the show Dexter, the original, and loved it. Loved working on that original true story. Mm-hmm. Cool time.
And then this one. What's this one?
Well, that was Held Hostage.
That was Held Hostage. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, some of our studio audience knows I've been in a few Hallmark movies. What about you?
Yeah, I've had some experience with Hallmark. I won't call them disposable melodramas. Because they might not hire me again. Hallmark this was a lot of fun because this movie was a lot of fun. John Schneider, who was Bo Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard. Roma Downey. Some of you might know her from Touched by an Angel. This is Brooke Nevin. She's been on a lot of network shows, real sweetheart. And so this was a lot of fun for me because I loved Dukes of Hazzard as a kid. And so now I got to be his boss, which was a lot of fun. And we had a lot of fun talking about that. And it was really cool. So, and I could go on. There's another story about another movie that I cast him in, and I really wanted to work with some, like, part of this job is like, hey, what can I do? Can I work with all my childhood idols? And so I got Ricky Schroeder and John to go to a meeting in Santa Monica one day and to plan the movie, but that movie never happened. But it was a lot of fun. I got to have lunch with him, so that was the goal.
So we got to include some made in Canada stuff.
CBC Docs, great. They purchased Hellbound. That was what they did. Unfortunately, most of my experience is working south of the border. But at least we got CBC part of my repertoire.
That was good. I like that. The lightning round. Do you guys like the lightning round?
Yes.
All right. These guys are good. So, okay, so it's a narrative story or pattern or formula popularized by Joseph Campbell in his book, The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And so how do you relate the hero's journey when people are asking you about it? Somebody that's never heard of the hero's journey.
Well, first off, the hero's journey is a formula for writing dramatic story. I've had the opportunity, especially before COVID, it slowed after COVID, but I had the opportunity to teach a 2-day seminar on the hero's journey and how to write a screenplay. And so I loved it. It was such an invigorating experience, teaching it in universities and sometimes high schools and that sort of thing. Sometimes businesses as well that are looking to brand. So,
what do you mean? So businesses can take a product and give it a hero's journey?
Absolutely. I mean, story is everything.
Yeah.
So story is in how we sell a product. Story is in how we tell a story. Story is in us. And so that is the one common thread with humanity. I know that we're so disjointed and there's such a rift right now, especially politically, but the one common thing between everybody on earth is that we all have a story and we all want to be the hero of it.
So the hero's journey is basically an understanding of stories through history and lore and that sort of thing, right? It wasn't recently created. It was just recently sort of analyzed and maybe laid out as a
absolutely.
A thing,
I mean,
right?
The hero's journey is mythological, and so what came first was humanity, not the hero's journey. Not the steps of the hero's journey. I mean,
heroes came first.
Well, heroes came first because heroes were always people. So,
yeah.
so what came out of developing the hero's journey as a formula for writing story is life, and is the story of people, is the story of culture, the story of religion, the story of all people. And so the hero's journey as a formula for writing good story came out of the experience of life, of people living life. And so that's why we resonate with story. And that's why movies are so impactful. That's why books are so impactful, because we want to experience the victory of a hero. We want to return with the elixir. We want that.
So before we rush into that, let's talk about this. There's 7 stages of the hero's journey, right? What's stage 1?
Well, yeah, let's not do a 2-day seminar here, but that costs extra.
No, but let's sort of in a nutshell.
Let me do a nutshell of it if you want. So just to get the point across. So we start with the ordinary world, where we're living. When I teach this, I like to use the original New Hope, Star Wars: The New Hope. I used it with a lot of people who have seen it, and then I thought, well, maybe I should get more current. And I would like to, and I probably will use, the movie WALL-E, if you guys have ever seen that, which is great for the hero's journey. You can list off any number of movies and do that. But Star Wars, I thought, wait, I'm teaching this. Sometimes I'm going into high schools, even universities, and some of them have never even seen the movie. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to throw this away. We got to watch. You guys have to watch Star Wars. Like, this is ridiculous. If you guys haven't seen Star Wars, come on. So no, I'm using that. So in the ordinary world, you've got Luke Skywalker living on Tatooine with his aunt and uncle, and he's working on the farm and he's bored and he just wants to go to the stars and join the Alliance. So join the Rebel Alliance. And so that's the heroes. That's the ordinary world. And he progresses from there. If you can resonate with this in your own life, perhaps we have an ordinary world. We have an invitation to a call. And so that call would be Finally, Luke gets to realize his dream. His uncle doesn't need him on the farm anymore. His aunt convinces the uncle that, hey, you know what, you can go, let him go. He needs to go. He doesn't need to be here. We've got droids for this. AI. Anyway, so he gets to go on this journey. He's got an invitation to the call. Well, what happens when you finally realize that you're about to accept your dream? Well, it happened to me going to university when I dropped out and I couldn't handle it. It was the refusal of the call, where, whoa, this is actually real. You know what's more exciting is the anticipation of things, and sometimes that's the best part. When you're confronted by your dream, you sometimes go, wait a minute, I don't know if I can do this, whether it's fear, whether it's a villain, whether it's somebody trying to convince you otherwise, whatever it is, the refusal of the call happens inside of us. So this is all this sort of internal journey of the hero. You end up going through trials and tribulations and roadblocks and all of these kinds of things, and eventually, you know, if you accept the call and you meet your mentor who helps you through it, you return with the elixir. You come back to that ordinary world different and changed. And so that's our journey.
So when we were having coffee, we were talking about how people can actually sort of take that story and put it as a template over their own life, especially young people.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how people can sort of put themselves as the hero in their own story.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I continued to teach this and went into schools and that sort of thing, I realized that I was really only teaching story, but there was this whole treasure trove of value to this that I wasn't really acknowledging or passing on to these people. Was that there are so many hurting people out there. There are so many people that want to be the hero of their journey. They don't know how to do it. Or there's villains, or there's people in their way, or there's roadblocks. There's all these things from the hero's journey that are happening within our own lives. And I realized that, wow, there's so much more to this. This is more than just working in the movie industry. This is more than just doing cool things and meeting cool people and hanging out on set with Academy Award-winning people and that sort of thing. This is about life, and that's why story resonates with us. And that's sort of it evolved into this value system that changed for me. And that's why I still do it.
I think we've all been transformed a little bit just by talking about it here today. So what are you currently working on, Dave? You got some projects underway right now.
I do. I can't tell you. NDA. No, I'm sorry.
Come on. Wasn't there one?
I'm working on...
I didn't want to say it out loud because you might have told me in confidence.
Well, there's a producer. Yeah, I'm working with a producer in Pittsburgh.
Okay, that's the one I was going to talk about.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, on a couple of shows. One is about the life of Mario Lemieux, documentary style, and another is another hockey based in Pittsburgh. This guy's a big hockey guy, this producer in there. So I got lucky enough to be the one to work with him on that.
And Dave has been working with students in our local school district. What are you doing there?
Well, I think going back to the beginning here, I talked about how influenced I was with my teachers in university, and I had one who was really pesky and almost annoying about saying, hey, you know what, you should really think about at some point in your life, at some point in your journey, get into teaching your craft. And I was like, I'm having way too much fun on set. Spending hours of boredom and minutes of chaos was just way too much fun for me, being on set. But ultimately, I'm working towards teaching and going full time in teaching film. I'll still continue to write, but I won't be producing. Although I might get convinced to do it here and there.
So we might see you at Starbucks working away at night.
I have a table with my name on it. Yeah.
So where can people connect with you? Do you want people to connect with you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Facebook, Dave Rempel. Instagram, the huge. Email, david@davidrempel.com. That's easy to remember.
But there's no website there yet.
No website there. No, I'm such a techno peasant. I don't know how to build websites.
Dave, I think everybody here wishes you continued success, and we hope that you'll come back to Creative Third Thursdays just to hang out with us.
Yeah, I'd love it. This is beautiful. This is an amazing place.
Good. Get to know some of our other fellow creatives. And I think we all, after this conversation, may start paying a little bit more attention to the credits as they roll by, see if we know anybody. So thank you for helping us work on building our creative community here in Chilliwack. David Rempel, everybody.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Next month's featured creative is Sandra Bonner-Peterson. She's the owner of Bear Image Productions. She and her team are creating entertaining, informative documentaries and stories. And I'm looking forward to having her as part of our YouTube video catalog of featured creatives. So earlier I told you about the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival. It starts next Wednesday. I think, what is the date? I think there's still time to get tickets at a discounted rate. Yeah. Yeah, 50% off right now. Yeah. So anyway, it's happening next week. Film Freeway is the de facto way that filmmakers submit their films for consideration to festivals around the world. And this year's Chilliwack Independent Film Festival has more than 1,000 submissions. It's crazy. It's like, and here's an amazing accomplishment. Out of more than 7,000 film festivals listed on Film Freeway, SIFF is ranked in the top 100 best reviewed film festivals in the world right now. So right alongside the Toronto International Film Festival, the Sundance, Cannes, and South by Southwest. And it's right here in our own backyard. So get your tickets at sif.ca today. Tickets are going fast. And I promised you earlier, let's take a look at this year's trailer.
Take a page from my book, darling. Take a second, adjust your eyes to the light. 'Cause there's always tomorrow. Take a page from my book, darling. Speeding fast through the night to get where we gotta go. There's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow.
Creative Third Thursdays is a Chilliwack Creative Commission event. For more about our group, visit businessinchilliwack.com. And do you want to be part of the studio audience and mingle with other creatives next month? Visit creativethirdthursdays.com for free tickets. So check out previous episodes on YouTube. Search Creative Third Thursdays Chilliwack. And if you do that, don't forget to like, subscribe, watch it all the way to the end, and comment. All those things will help us get our videos exposed on YouTube. So it's your part of the bargain, okay? All right. So those things really help to get the word out and attract more interesting people to Creative Third Thursday. So I'm Geoff Edwards. Big thanks to today's studio audience. Thank you to Studio C. And I'm thirsty. There's more drinks in the lobby. You can meet people, mingle, share that you were at Creative Third Thursdays. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thank you.